What's going on, Jerome's? So the Minnesota Vikings drafting Jonathan James McCarthy, number 10 overall, highest drafted quarterback in team history. A lot of people did see him as a quarterback of the future, and of course, great training camp, great preseason game. But of course, the knee injury, sidelined him. Did allow for the rise of Slinging Sammy Darnold, aka America's quarterback, and now the Vikings have a decision this offseason. Do they run back with Sam Darnold, or is it officially time for more fatties up front to protect J.J. McCarthy and roll with number 9? Oh, fine as wine, number 9, and just kickstart my heart and the future of the Vikings. Long story longer. It is Super Bowl week, so lots of interviews going to be going down, lots of people hawking products and stuff, but J.J. McCarthy's hawking the Minnesota Vikings. Woo! Love to see that. So he's on the Rich Eisen Show, just a couple of Michigan men talking about, Harbaugh and Bo Schembechler and all that stuff. Cool. And McCarthy was asked about his thoughts on the Vikings quarterback future. And McCarthy, by the way, he's wearing a hockey jersey. Hockey guy. Love him, man. He fully understands what state he's in. He's in a state of euphoria. That's right. So a couple of pull quotes here from Kevin Seifert, ESPN, who's not Carl Gershman. Vikings quarterback on J.J. McCarthy is on the Rich Eisen Show. Our first extensive comments since September. Asked what the past year was like. McCarthy said, quote, "It's been really hard, if I'm going to be straight up." So obviously watching from the sidelines, it's no bueno, right? And he's a competitor. He's an alpha. And he doesn't... He doesn't see this as his privilege or his right? Just because you're drafted doesn't mean that you get the job, but some that he wants to compete for, something that he wants to earn. And the fact that the last couple of games the Vikings sort of got battered around, and McCarthy, he's a competitor, he's pissed off, he wants to be in that mix, and just he couldn't last year, going into next year and into the future. Continues. McCarthy on what Kevin O'Connell has said about 2025. Our conversations have been about nothing but the greatest thing for the Minnesota Vikings. At the end, I just follow him on Instagram. All he does is put out this motivational, stoic stuff, and it's just great. Just the greatest thing for the Minnesota Vikings. At the end of the day, there are a lot of things that are certainly above my pay grade, and some things above his. He's the only one. He's the one that has the pen last on the field, and that's about all I know. McCarthy was asked about the uncertainty sits with him. All I can ask for is a fair opportunity. That's the one thing I feel like everybody's given, and it's fundamental. And when money gets involved, things get complicated and reps get skewed, and there's different things that come into the whole political world that everyone talks about, but I really just have to focus on controlling what I can control. My feelings don't matter. I'm not getting any grace. There's no sympathy. This is the big leagues, and he's absolutely right. All right, all he wants is opportunity to compete. If he wins a job, he wins a job, and he's right. There is no grace. There is no sympathy. And guess what? If Darnold had come in and won the Super Bowl, he would be that guy, right? And talking about how all I can ask for is fair opportunity. When the money gets involved, things get complicated. And if the Vikings somehow decide to franchise tag Darnold and roll with him or give him a long-term extension, he's going to get the reps, because you're not going to sign him and have it be an open competition, and then McCarthy comes out on top. You're not going to have a $40 million a year backup. That just isn't what happens, right? So I think that McCarthy, and by the way, there's no animosity between him and Darnold. He talked about all the things that he learned from Darnold this year, handling success, showing up the same way every single day. So he's got nothing but love for Sam Darnold, but he does understand that it is a business. And the Vikings, I don't think that they bring Darnold back. I think that it's still the plan that it was before the season, where you drafted McCarthy, you signed Darnold to be the bridge quarterback, and then eventually he would give way to McCarthy. Now, there was some thought that maybe he could do it during the season last year, but of course McCarthy's injury did skew that. And also, it was really funny. So, like we said, both Rich Eisen and J.J. McCarthy are Michigan alums, so all they're talking about is Harbaugh. Attack things with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind. Also, he complicated Kevin O'Connell as just beyond a good football coach, he's just a great freaking guy. Which I feel like that certainly could help you get the job. I'm just saying that your boss is a great freaking guy. Who really knows? But at the end of the day, These comments do resonate. Like, he doesn't have a pompous attitude about it. Like, he doesn't see this as his right because he was drafted. He just wants to compete, and whatever happens, happens. And if the Vikings somehow decide to extend Darnold, like, he's still going to compete, but he understands that definitely could change the calculus a little bit. And J.J. McCarthy is obviously the quarterback of the future for the Vikings. Is that delayed by a year because of how good Darnold was for 16 games last year? Actually 14 games. I don't necessarily see that, but I guess whatever will be will be. But I do love the attitude that McCarthy brings to the table. I think that he's got an insatiable work ethic. I think that he gets along with Kevin O'Connell. I think that he's got all the physical tools in the world, and I think that he's going to be that dude long term. And also, hopefully, the Vikings. The plan is, hey, we got all this cap space. Let's build an FU offensive line in front of J.J. McCarthy, and let's go from there, baby. Anyways, your thoughts are thoughts. J.J. McCarthy talked about the Vikings quarterback situation on the Rich Eisen Show today. Listen to your thoughts, our thoughts, comment section. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skol, production value.